Hey everybody, this is another video of Think Like a Christian. So today I want to talk to your kids, all right? You guys, us kids, us adults who have Christian kids, I don't have no kids yet. Don't get your girl wrong. But I am somebody's child, and as somebody's child, I used to be young once, which means I dealt with all the stuff that other kids had to go through, okay? And by which I mean nighttime fears. Have you ever thought about how to help your kid get over nighttime fears? Well, I did because I was a kid and my mom was Christian and we had to deal with the nighttime fear thing. One tip that will help your child get over nighttime fears is stop showing them scary stuff. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Scary stuff will have your kids messed up, okay? But if you have a strong minded child like I was good with scary movies. I love scary movies. The only thing that got my life was when I heard a loud noise in the dark. I don't know why. It always got my life. I wasn't scared of loud noises. I wasn't scared of the dark. But you mix the two together, it was over. Okay, I would like jump out of my skin. Okay, so for those y'all who got the strong minded kids, tip two, they can watch the movie provided that they anoint themselves and pray before they go to bed. Okay, and do you know why this is important? Because if your kids pray before they go to bed, then they will have this sense of God is protecting me. And if they hear the little sound that goes bump in the night, they're more likely to say, "Oh God, did you hear that? I don't know if I'm in danger, but Lord, help me." You know what I'm saying? They're more likely to talk to God about it than to be running around house screaming their heads off because they heard a little noise. Okay? Yes. All right. So that's step two, coming from experience, the loud noise in the night. Okay. That was me. And that really helped me. All right. The little anoint my head with oil, go to sleep at night and say, Lord, ain't nothing wrong. I don't, and then part of that tip, actually, part of that tip, I was going to forget it, but part of that tip, tip two, part B, is to have your child look around, to look at their surroundings. And if they need to, let them touch the things in their room. Let them see this is a chair. This is your closet. These are the clothes in your closet. There's nothing under here. There's nothing under your bed. Your stuffed animals are here. The paintings on the wall, okay? Like let them know where everything in their room is. Get them aware of their space. And let them know in the day there's nothing here. At nighttime, there's nothing here. Nothing changed except for the moon came up. And 9 times out of 10, kids love the moon. They love it. They're like, oh my gosh, look at this big orb in the sky. It's glowing. Okay. This is the time of night where kids think fairies and everything just come out to say hello. So embrace those things that kids love. Open the curtains and say, you see the moon shining through? The moonbeams are lighting up your room. Look, you can see everything in here. They're the exact same things that you see in the daytime. Talk to them. Let them be not just in their surroundings, but familiar with their surroundings. And the next time they hear a sound at night, or the next time the devil tries to tell them there's something playing in their closet that shouldn't be there, they're gonna more likely pray about it than go screaming and waking the whole house up. Okay. That was tip one and two, and then 2B. Okay. And then the third tip I have for you is if you've got a kid who wants to sleep in mommy and daddy's bed, okay, sometimes it's not always an afraid of the dark thing. Okay. This need to sleep in mommy and daddy's room is I feel like that's a mechanism that some kids use to let you know, I need your attention. And me as a kid, I had this brain that just worked all the time. And I come from a single parent household. I do have a dad. He's wonderful. Hey, dad, if you're watching this, my bad. But I come from a single parent household. My mom was the one whose bed we climbed into. And my mind was so sharp at a young age that when I realized what death was, which is probably way before my mom even thought I knew what death was because I was always watching TV or somebody would mention it on the way to school or at school. And so I knew what death was. I mean, I was watching the Discovery Channel, for crying out loud. I was watching ancient Egyptians mummify people. Okay, yes, I was the smart kid who couldn't stay out of a textbook or some kind of reading. Yeah, my mom and my auntie had me reading, you guys. But the Discovery Channel will let your kids know a lot of stuff that you didn't think they would know. And it's good though, because they're getting this information in a way that's not scary to them. It's factual. But my point being is, I had that mind where I understood things. So I understood the concept of death. And I always wanted to sleep in my mom's room because I understood that death can come calling whenever it want to. So I slept in her room as much time as she let me because I wanted to be with her every second of the day, because if one day she wasn't there no more, well, at least the night before she wasn't there no more, I was with her. And she knew that I was clinging to her because I loved her. And she probably thought I was attention grubbing, but to me as a kid, she knew I loved her because I was always in her face. Okay. And that's something that will keep your kids like always wanting to sleep in your room, especially if they have a sharp brain. They're already at that point where they know mom and dad might not be here tomorrow. And some kids know this subconsciously. So they're always like trying to climb in your bed and stuff like that. And they always want to hang around you. But let's not push kids off all the time. Let them hang around when like there's appropriate time to hang around, there's appropriate time not to hang around, okay? But if it's not the if it's not like gonna kill you, if you and your husband ain't having a romantic night, if y'all just sleep, let the kids sleep in your bed, okay? Because 9 times out of 10 they just want to know you love them. They want you to know they love you, and they just want to be surrounded by that security, okay? And fun fact, other countries say that American kids are messed up because they sleep with stuffed animals instead of staying in their parents' bed until they're old enough to be put somewhere else. Fun fact. Okay, look it up. All right. Anyways, but I said that to say this. When you have children who are clingy and you brush them off, then the fear, even if it's just subconscious fear that your parents aren't going to be with you, manifests into some other type of fear because they don't know how to tell you you're pushing me away when I need you. So they're going to start saying, oh my God, something's in my closet, because they want you to run. And sometimes they just want to see that you're there in the house, that you're still there. If this sounds like you as a kid, please raise your hand. Shh. I'm not going to, spread all the secrets around. I'm not going to tell your name. But just think about that. If your kid's afraid of something and you're brushing them off and you're not paying attention, then this fear can grow and manifest into something else. So now this kid who used to be able to sleep by themselves suddenly sees everything coming out the closet and stuff coming from under the bed, and the room is completely clean, like there's nothing there. What is that? What are they seeing? Like, those fears are growing because that security they wanted from you has been brushed aside, they don't have it, and now it's manifesting into insecurities about the rest of their surroundings, okay? So, tip number three, don't brush your kids off. If they need your attention and you ain't got nothing better to do, talk to them. Let them sleep next to you, okay? All right. And if you got the bed wetter, I'm going to tell you the old school secret. Wake them up and make them clean the bed themselves. Because 2 or 3 times of that, they ain't going to want to pee no more because they going to want to sleep instead of getting up and having to pass out of bed or whatever cleaners y'all use, okay? Ain't no kid going to want to wake up to do that. Okay. All right. Another tip, you guys. Kids are kids, okay? They won't always understand the concept of God like you do as an adult. So, my next tip is, and a tip that I used when I was, I guess, coming out of elementary school or whatever like that, maybe getting a little older, but when I started to realize that God was watching out for me, but I couldn't see him do it, I started getting into the habit of taking whatever my favorite toy was and anointing the eyes of my favorite toy. Why did I do this? Because in church, I saw the pastor can give somebody a prayer towel, and that prayer towel can be used to help fight the devil off. The pastor could give somebody some prayer beads or some anointed oils or something like that, and that helps fight the devil off. This is coming from a kid's mind here, okay? So I would take one of my favorite animals. You guys, if you see my shorts, y'all see my pig farm. So let's take one of my pigs, for example. If I have a pig sleeping on my bed, take the blessed oil, anoint the eyes, and teach your kids how to pray. Lord, let this stuffed animal or my favorite toy or whatever sleeping in the bed alongside me, let it see the danger coming so that it can protect me at night. You see what I'm saying? Like, give your kid a watchdog. If you see what I'm saying, give them a watchdog. This might not, the stuffed animal ain't gonna come to life, ain't gonna walking around the room guarding your kid. But to your kid, it makes sense. If something can see me at night and it's an inanimate object, then it can see the danger at night. So if I bless the eyes of something that I love dearly and that's always with me, then that thing can protect me when I'm sleeping. This will give your kid a sense of security, and they'll most likely within a week stop yelling at you to turn on the lights because something's coming out the closet. Because now they think, oh, I got a watchdog. It's going to let me know if something's in the room. And come on, parents, the pig is really not going to squeal. I mean, unless God give it a voice like he did the donkey in the Bible, the pig is not going to squeal and wake your child up. So guess what your child is going to do? They're going to feel secure and they're going to sleep. Yeah. Shh, don't tell them. Don't let them know. Just let them pray. Let them see you pray. And it'll give them a sense of, I'm going to be all right tonight. You see what I'm saying? Give your child a voice. Listen to that voice. And then help them make decisions on how to protect themselves so that insecurity does not stay in the mind, okay? So that was tip number 4, I believe it was. Okay, so another tip, as your child is getting older and they're starting to get to this point where I don't need mom and dad no more. Y'all don't have to keep checking on me, stay out my face, or whatever it is they're doing where they don't need you no more, or they're acting like they don't need you no more, or you just think they don't need you no more. Start giving them their own bottle of blessed oil. And why I say give them their own bottle of blessed oil, it's because a lot of times parents don't give their kids enough credit to be able to handle things themselves. So when there's a problem, parents are always like, let's pray. When there's not a problem, you got the praying mama. She praying all day long in the house, under the house, in the kitchen, on side of the kitchen, cooking the greens, eating the green. Like she's just praying all the time. And a lot of times your prayer life teaches your kid that they need to pray, but not always how to connect with their own prayers. So they might pray all the time because you told them they had to pray, but giving them their own bottle of blessed oil gives them their own control over when they can pray. It lets them know that are able to anoint themselves. They don't have to always be anointed. They can anoint themselves. And that's something I learned later on that I wish I had learned when I was younger. I did not know I could anoint myself. I always assumed that somebody had to have a spirit. They had to be in the pulpit. They had to be a mama or a daddy. Like I always assumed they had to have some kind of rank to put blessed oil on your head. But my mama, like I talked to my mom one day, I was like, you know what? I don't really understand how this is supposed to go because I know you need to be anointed, but you know, a lot of people will have you thinking that only certain people can anoint you. You know what I'm saying? You always know your mom and your dad put the blessed oil on your forehead before you go to sleep or in the morning before you go to school. But who tells you go anoint yourself? How many people tell you that? Go anoint yourself. Kids need to be told that because then it's in their brain like, oh, I can do this for myself. I can pray for myself. I have control over my life. And that kind of control isn't, I don't need my parent anymore. That kind of control is the devil try to put something in my brain. And though my mama is busy, or she's not here with me right now, or I'm spending the night at such and such a house, or so and so house, I got my blessed oil. I could put the oil on my own head, say a prayer, and I go back to sleep. I'm fine. That's the kind of control that a lot of kids need. Okay? So let's take note of that. Let your kids have a little bit of control because then they'll start realizing my prayers aren't empty. My prayers aren't blessed just because I have a parent who prays, but they blessed because I'm the one doing the prayer too. Yeah, we got to let kids know that they can pray for themselves and that they can pray for situations. Let's see. Do I have any more tips for you guys? This is one of my late night videos, as you guys know. If you have seen any of my other videos, it's right around the time where I should be asleep. So, but I like to give you guys things as they come to me and not, something I planned out 3 months in advance, forgot about, and then just came to you with. Like, I want to give you things as they come to me because then I feel like I'm not just feeding you nonsense, but I'm giving you stuff that God dropped in my spirit to give you. Because I wasn't even thinking about, being afraid of the dark and stuff like that. I was just walking around. I'm like, let me go lay down and see if I can go to sleep. And then I was like, wait, nighttime fears. All kids have nighttime fears. Sometimes even adults have nighttime fears. So I just decided, hey, let me give you guys tips and tricks on how to beat nighttime fear. Okay? But you know what? I'm going to let you know something. When you're a child and you're in school, they give you books to read, and more than likely these books are classics. Like you're in an English class, you're probably reading of Mice and Men. You're probably reading something like Tom Sawyer, or I don't know what all the books they read now in class, but they give you classics to read. And you know why they give you classics to read? Because classics teach a lesson. And when you get older and you go and you want to find a book to read, some, like, I want to say like 8 times out of 10, you're like, what's that one book I used to love when I was a kid? I used to love that book. And you go to your bookshelf and you're looking, and then you're like, oh yeah, it's the book that I heard of from my English teacher. You go on your shelf and you pick up that classic. Why did you go back to that classic? Because it still works. So I'm just letting you know these tips, these tricks are not just for kids, these are for adults as well. Because sometimes as adults, we missed out on that parent bond and we can't be in our parents' bed because we too old for that, okay? So we ourselves need to find things to help us cope with that missing connection. We had this message about connection on Sunday. I might elaborate later if I remember. Don't charge it to my heart, charge it to my head, because your girl don't sleep. So I be forgetting stuff. But, anyways, those things can help adults too, you guys. It helps us with that. Like, because a lot of people miss steps and a lot of parents weren't there. And a lot of parents are just now coming back into our lives and things like that. So it helps us to have things that help us cope. And a lot of times when people go to therapy, they'll ask, do you have a faith system? Why do they ask if you have a faith system? Because a lot of people that believe in something, when they focus their mind on that thing, their mind is a little more stable and they don't it'll help them to it helps keep them calm, help them feel connected and grounded. You know what I'm saying? And I personally, being a Christian, almost every time, every time, shoot, I said almost. Let me take that almost out of there. Every time that something has gone wrong, every time that I felt like I was just up the creek without a paddle, whether it was emotionally, physically, work related, relationship related, friends, family, like whatever it was at that time, it was always being able to pray, having that connection with God, and knowing that He's listening to me and that He never let me down before, so He's not gonna let me down this time either. And being able to understand that and being able to embrace that and to utilize all those things I was taught by my mother and my father when it comes to God, those things help me to get rid of a lot of stuff and to get through a lot of stuff and to cope with a lot of things. And even now, it's kind of hard to understand who you are sometimes, especially when you have like ups and downs in life. And I'm just like personally, I'm one of those kids. Like, I felt like everybody had a talent but me. And then when I find my talent, somebody else came in and they could do the same thing I was doing, but they could do it better. And I just always felt like I was behind the curve. So it took me a long time to get to this point where I knew what my favorite color was. I knew how I wanted to, like what shoes I liked. I like high tops. Okay, I love high tops. I will wear them with a dress. Everybody don't like that. Some people got something to say, but that's just me, you guys. I mean, I wear heels when I go to church, but sometimes I put my high tops on. Why? Because I'm 5'10". Okay, I've got scoliosis. Sometimes it's more comfortable to wear flat shoes or gym shoes than to walk around for a couple of hours in heels or all day, depending on how many services we got. So I'm put some gym shoes on. And I love high tops. And that's just how it been. That's how it is. That's how it's been. That's how it's gonna be. Okay. I like high tops. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes I find me some nice sandal shoes. But we all know them little ballerina shoes, the ones that's a little too hard on the top, they don't give your feet no break. Okay. I'm not gonna wear them. I'm sorry. No. Unless they make some super comfortable ones one day that just make your girl go, ooh, I'm on the cloud. It ain't gonna happen. Because either they rubbing your heel or they's creating corns on top of your feet. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. So I wear the high tops. But it took me a long time to be comfortable enough to wear the high tops because some people didn't like high tops. Some people had something to say when I wore high tops. They're like, them old school. I'm like, I like them, you know? And if you see my shorts, I've been hitting Shein's retro dresses lately. I love the retro dresses. I like me a good sweater. I like a good hoodie. And I love me a pair of jeans with a high waist. I mean, that's just who I am. And you put a t-shirt on and you just look like one of those old Levi models where you have the guy standing there like this and he's got on Levi jeans and the white shirt and he's looking all handsome like he wearing some Hanes boxer shorts. I don't know, but to me that was a classic look. It was really simple. I loved it. I love retro stuff and I've been wearing retro stuff a lot lately. And you know what? When I started wearing those, I started feeling more like myself. So it's taken me a while to get to the point where I feel more like me than I feel like all the stuff that people made me. Do you understand what I mean? It's like until you realize who you are, God is a very good tool of helping you get through all the peoples that you're not and helping you get to who you're supposed to be in Him and feeling like the person that you're meant to be. Because I didn't feel like who I was meant to be. Last week, I didn't feel like who I was meant to be completely. I feel closer to who I'm meant to be, but I'm not 100% there yet because there are still a lot more things that I haven't figured out for myself yet. I mean, I'm still working on what hairstyle I'm gonna keep. I mean, like, everybody had that signature hairstyle that just looks phenomenal on them every single time they get it. I mean, I'm still looking for that one, okay? My favorite hairstyle was when I cut my hair. It was short. My mama didn't like it. She was like, girl, back. I loved it. It was manageable. It was so simple, so easy. But you know what? Easy isn't always correct. So I'm giving myself time to try out different hairstyles and see which one I want to stick with. And that's one of my next journeys. Finding out the hairstyle that I want to keep for myself. But in this walk of life, when we're trying to find ourselves, sometimes security is not there. So a lot of times adults are a lot like children, and being like a child, I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that you need to figure out who you are and what you want to be and what you want to do with your life. And until we get to that place, we just pray about it. Pray about it. Keep moving forward. And one of my favorite songs always says, if I take one step, he'll take two. So if I take one step, God will take two and let me know, lead me in that direction that I'm supposed to be going. Because if he taking two steps, that means he one step ahead of me. And if he one step ahead of me, that means he pulling me along to where I need to be. You see? So sometimes your first step is just saying, Lord, I don't know who I am. I don't have that security. I don't have that connection. I need your help. And that's what kids are asking for, you guys. That's what a lot of us are asking for. We're asking for some help, for some security, for the knowledge that we are not just in this by ourselves, that somebody know that we are struggling, like me, struggling to get to sleep. But this is just like kids are a lot like adults, and adults are a lot like children. We all got needs, and not all the time can we express what that need is. So sometimes we need a little guidance. So I implore you on these nights where it's thundering and storming and getting cold, and your kids are cold and they don't understand how to tell you, yes, mom, it is cold. I don't feel good because it's cold. When you're telling them it's not cold, just go back to sleep. Kids know their bodies. Sometimes we don't know their bodies, but they know their bodies. Okay. I mean, like me, I'll ask my mama, I'm cold. She'd be like, no, you're not. You got all this stuff on. How could you be cold? But I couldn't tell her my hands are like my fingers are freezing, or that my stomach is cramping because I don't feel good because it's too cold. I didn't know how to say all that. All I knew how to say was I'm cold, but I'm laid down in all this stuff and I shouldn't be cold, but I was cold. Okay. You know, and a lot of times parents don't understand kid language, and kids don't understand how to explain kid language to parents. So take some time out, listen, ask questions. Sometimes your kids can answer questions. Sometimes they can. They might not answer it the way an adult would answer it, but sometimes you can get a nugget of information that might help you in the long run. Keep all them fears from your kids at night. Help you get some sleep too. But now that I've rambled on, I am gonna go and get me some sleep because I got class tomorrow. So that was my tips for you guys, how to think like a Christian when the world is not. I'm just, you know what? I'm just gonna implore y'all. If you know your kids can't sleep at night, don't let them watch no scary movies. 9 times out of 10, they're putting on a brave face because they just want to watch a movie with you. And they know mama and daddy watch a scary movie. I could watch a scary movie too because I want to watch movies with mama and daddy. Don't let them watch scary movies. What what was the thing I wanted to say? When you feed your spirit with things, it affects you. That's what I want to tell you. When you feed your spirit with things, it affects you. It don't only work with adults, it works with kids too. Stop feeding kids spirits with everything, okay? Don't let them watch every movie just because a cousin said it's okay or just because all their friends are watching it. My mom put her foot down on a whole lot of stuff, and I am thanking her to this day that she did. Because I know a lot of people drinking. I know a lot of people who did a whole lot of things they shouldn't have been doing, all because their spirit was fed with the wrong things at a very young age. And I bet you they are wishing and crying in their souls that they had never, ever, ever, ever been witness to whatever movie they watched or whatever somebody was saying or whatever music lyrics that was going out, because all that stuff soaks into your soul and it gets into your brain. And let's speak scientifically, you guys, for all of you guys who are scientists out there. What happens to your brain after such an amount of time? What's in there is in there, and your neurons or whatever are dying. All that stuff you put in your kid's head is in there now, subconsciously or not. It's in there. They might not know it's in there yet, but when a situation happens and they respond in a very upsetting way, or if they just walk around and decide, I want to kill somebody because I want to see what it feels like. You guys, where do you think they get this from? I'm pretty sure mom and daddy ain't running around with a kitchen knife cutting all the kids talking about something. I just want to see what this feels like. They're not getting it from you. Where are they getting it from? Censor your kids. Censor them. They will sleep better. Lots better. Okay, that is my tip for tonight. I am done rambling at y'all. Love you. Go to sleep. Don't be like me. And God bless.